Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As always, I have another golf ball review for us today, and this is a Titleist Tour Soft. Let's dive in. Okay, so it's been a while since I've reviewed a Titleist golf ball. I've been kind of focusing on direct-to-consumer brands and things like that, so I haven't really gone into the big guys. And if you do watch my channel, you know that I think Titleist is a little overrated, but we'll find out more about that when we get to the conclusion of this video, because I think this is a good potential golf ball, but we'll have to see how the numbers come out. Real quick, so when I was doing some research on the golf ball, the first thing I noticed, and you guys know I love value, is it comes at a price of $37 a dozen, which my thought process was, okay, for a value tour ball, it's a little high, but, well, then I discovered that it's actually a two-piece ionomer golf ball, which, it's kind of ironic. The last video I just did, I talked about how $29.99 was the most expensive I'd ever seen a two-piece golf ball at. $37 by far takes the cake, and I'm gonna be really upfront. It's going to be really hard to get a recommendation from me based on that price point alone, because again, I've just tested so many golf balls, and if you're new to the channel, check out the reviews. There's so many great golf balls for an average golfer that are $20 a dozen. So for double that price, this better be some really good performance numbers when I get to them. Otherwise, it's just going to be hard to recommend, but we'll get there. Let's go ahead and start off with the design of the golf ball. Titleist on the front there. You can see it has its normal logo. And if you come around on the side here, it actually does have a decent alignment stamp here. It's actually got a nice thick line there, and it's even got the vertical line so you can line up your putter with it as well. And that's actually something a lot of them aren't doing. I haven't seen this that much. It's simple, but it actually does kind of put it ahead of some other golf balls, because you'd be surprised how much having that vertical line can actually help you align your putter up. I struggled for a while having it too tilted in or too tilted out, and your ball is going to go in the direction wherever that face is pointing. So that really does help. It's a simple design, but it's tried and true. So overall, not bad. Let's get to the chipping and putting green, and let's see how we do out there. All right, so on the chipping and putting green with the Titleist Tour Soft, starting off with the putter, I will say it feels really good off the putter, but of course all Titleist golf balls do. It's very common for them to feel really buttery and smooth off the putter. No difference here, and honestly, it's pretty springy. It reminds me of the Bridgestone E9 I just tested. Barely got to tap it, and the ball rolls across the green. So that's good for some, bad for others. Depends on what your preference is, but I enjoyed it. Because I had just got done doing the E9, I already had the learning curve in my head, so it was a little easier this time, but still felt really good. If you hit it off the toe, it does give you a little bit of feedback, but just a tiny, tiny bit, not enough to where it really would make a difference, but overall not bad. It rolls really good, and I will say the alignment tool does work. You can definitely see it. It's bright, it's vivid, especially off of the yellow there. It really shines off. You can see it. So I was able to make more putts with it, so I really enjoyed that of it. Getting into the wedge though, it does feel good. Again, it has a lot of spring off of the wedge, but I hope you're not expecting it to spin, because good luck. There's zero spin on this golf ball. I've tried to bend it left, I've tried to bend it right, I've tried to get it to stop. You can't. It has a very firm release. I would even say it might have a firmer release than the E9 I just reviewed did. There's just not a lot of spin to be had, and with it being a two-piece ionomer golf ball, that's usually the case for those. But at $37, I mean, you'd expect it to spin a little bit. I mean, it even feels on the cover like it will a little bit, but it just doesn't. There's just no spin to be had. Once you get about 50 yards away, then it's not bad at that point, but again, there's a lot of room for improvement. So overall around the green, a mixed bag. There's some stuff that's okay, and then there's some stuff that honestly I wish was a little bit better. So hopefully the numbers can up that a little bit. All right, so let's talk about the feel real quick before I dive into the numbers. I gotta be honest with you, I am so disappointed in the feel of this golf ball. It feels so dead. I mean, just when you hit it, even if you hit it in the sweet spot, if you flush it, it just feels okay, really. I mean, it feels like it drags a little bit, and then God forbid you hit it off any other part of the club other than the center, because it will jolt your hands. And for a golf ball designed at players who want the softest feel, that's Titleist's words, not mine, I would say that that's pretty much a lie. I've tested tons of golf balls. I've tested Walmart golf balls, for Christ's sake, and they're all softer than this. This actually feels like an X ball sometimes if you mishit it. So not impressed with the feel, and it goes that way through all the clubs. The 9-iron kind of feels okay because it's a shorter wedge, but once you get anything lower than that, it's pretty hard. I think it's going to turn a lot of people off. But let's see how the numbers are. So far, we're not off to a great start, but I do want to see how these numbers are. Maybe they'll save it. Starting off with the 9-iron, we're looking at 92.2 mile an hour ball speed, which is slightly above average. That's not bad. 127.3 on your distance, 121 on your carry. Those are good numbers. And it actually launched a little low, which is cool. It launches low. You might get some spin out of it, maybe, maybe not. But overall, if I can get a little less launch, but more distance, I'll take that. And that even means that if I open the face up and actually hit a fade, I actually might get a few more yards than that. So off to a great start. Let's see how the 7-iron goes. 6,320 on the spin, which is right in line with average, slightly lower, not too bad. 109.1 on your ball speed, which is really fantastic. That's very high. 163.6, that's 3 yards more than my average. 152.8, that's again 3 more than my average. And it launched low again at 17.7. So again, those are phenomenal numbers to be able to get a little extra distance out of it, but also have a lower ball flight, keep it out of the wind. That's awesome. That'll appeal to a lot of golfers. Going into the 5 hybrid, we are looking at 3,612 on your spin. That's a little low. It's going to be hard to stick a green with the hybrid, but 117.8 is a great number on ball mile per hour speed. 194.4 on your total distance, which is slightly above average, and again 180.3, slightly above average. And again, consistently it launched a little lower than my average at 13.4, which with the hybrid I usually don't want, but it's okay as long as it's consistent with what the other clubs are doing. I don't mind it. Yeah, those are really good numbers as well, really consistent. The golf ball is a pretty decently forgiving golf ball. It's not the best I've tested, but it's a solid 7 out of 10 on forgiveness, so good there. Let's get into the driver now. Hopefully this will, you know, keep along the same track we've been going on. 26.55 on your spin, which is slightly below average. That's good. 232.3 on your distance. Boy, that is 10 yards less than my average. 131.5, that is a really low ball speed. 211.7, boy, that's about 10, no, that's 11 yards less than my my average, and it launched again low at 13.8, so it is consistent. I mean, it does have that going for it, but I lost a lot. 10 yards is a lot of distance to lose with a driver, so that's really disappointing there. Before I get into the kind of conclusion of what all this means, let's talk about the durability real quick. Durability wise, honestly, I'm kind of disappointed for a Titleist ball, to be honest with you. Titleist, I usually expect to be a perfect 5 out of 5. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a 4 out of 5, so there's nothing wrong with it, but again, you're talking about $37 a dozen for a 2-piece ionomer golf ball. The reason you buy an ionomer golf ball is because it has more durability. It's going to be, you know, for the young crowd or the beginner crowd who's going to smash it all over the course and hit trees. So after only 44 shots to be in this rough of shape, it's a little disappointing. I mean, it's not bad. It's not scuffed to the point where it would affect the ball flight, but I still expected more with being Titleist. They're supposed to be the #1 ball in the world, so I hold them to a higher standard. All right, so conclusion here, what all these numbers mean. You know, honestly, again, it comes in with the price point, $37. It's so difficult to recommend a golf ball like that, but there was a lot of bad mixed in here. There was a lot of good too. You know, the 7-iron, the 9-iron, my irons were hit really consistently, but I hated the feel. I didn't like it around the green. It had no spin. You know, the putter was wishy-washy, and then durability was just okay. So there's a lot of mediocre mixed in there, and when you have a ball priced at this point, it's got to be perfect. Everything's got to be buttoned up. Everything's got to be tight. And unfortunately, that's just not the case here. So it's not going to get a recommendation from me. But there's still the Titleist Tour Speed as well as the new Pro V1 line. So Titleist can still redeem themselves. And I'm also going to do the updated on the Tour Soft as well, which I did have good luck with the first time. So guys, as always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. Till next time.